Sorry.
Why should I get the when that does not happen? Is it if it's the gaming, if it's whatever? You get. So really, it's not smart now. Which kind of even rubbish I was doing all the calculation about O2 or O1 or none of them. And right now, both O1, O2 visa, the idea of moving to the US is not the move. Yeah. Moving to the US is not the move right now. If I go to the US, it should be temporarily. You understand what I'm saying? Not moving. I can go and stay for a month. I can go and stay for a while. Knowing fully well, and the only thing that will make me do that is if it's playing a role in building my finance. My priority now is to build my finance. I'm not really making sneaking a priority because I don't have to. I'm just going to figure that out on its own. But that's all now. It's building my finance, growing it, growing the savings and investment, growing the income. Because you have to grow the income as well. The income. So that's the thing. That's literally my priority. Because that's what YouTube was supposed to do for me. Apparently YouTube can't do it for me. Because where I'm standing from now, if YouTube starts working well, it's still far from the income I already have now. And YouTube was supposed to help me grow my income. All these years in Sokoto, then I came to Lagos. Is that I wanted this thing that I like doing, content creation, to help me grow my income. And so realizing now that my income is at a place where even if this thing was to work, I'm still like years away from catching up with where I am now. So what's the smart thing to do? Keep creating the content, but no longer attach that ambition of income. And the moment I remove the ambition of income from YouTube, it deprioritizes YouTube and then prioritizes whatever that thing is that is growing the income. So my focus has always been to grow my income. The reason why it is on YouTube, because I felt and I knew at the time that YouTube had a lot of financial potential. And it's what I like. So the idea that this thing that I love doing has this huge financial potential, I'm going to focus on it. And that's why in the last 10 years, I've been focused on it. To then realizing that the financial potential of YouTube is so low now because it's high maintenance, low performance, that is kind of everywhere. People are running YouTube at losses, and you will need to wait 10 years of running it at loss to now convert and make money back on your investment. So it's like, oh well, thankfully, along the journey, co-creating with other content creators, it became a way through which I could earn. You understand what I'm saying? I still love it. So it's like, oh, cool. Then I'll run my channel for the facts from the very beginning. I love the idea of creating content. I'll create the content for fun, whilst I focus on this to make as much money as I can make from this. But because I'm stubborn, I still insist that my channel, one day I can make it that big, but not officially. I'm going to figure out and just try. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So the focus, the moral of this story is that my focus has always been on building my finances. But when my focus is on building my finance, I'm not talking about my finance. I'm talking about the thing that I want to use to build my finance. So that's why my focus has been YouTube. But right now, my focus is no longer on me creating my own content for YouTube. My focus is on helping creators create so I can build my finance, whilst on the side figuring out how I will sneak in with my own content to the very top. You understand? Yeah. Because being a normal creator is not, basically it's like I'm working I'm working as a cashier in the bank, and there's the role of the manager, but I'm working in one accounting firm as a cashier. The accounting firm pays more than being manager of bank. It's like, oh cool, then I just stay as the accounting this thing now. Since it's the same thing, I like this one. I'll still do the banking thing on my own, not try to rise to the high level. You understand? Mm. So really, but it's just even scatters what I was saying now. All this one I'm saying that based on the information made available to me now that we know, but I just haven't thought about taxes. You know, since and today that I'm just looking at the cost of living and all that. So it's this thing, both O1 or O2 it's not worth it, except if your income is tied to an expensive city, then it is not smart to be in an expensive city. Except that, as in you have to be there to make that money. If you really have to be there to make, then it's like, oh, the thing is paying for itself. It's like, oh, I could have been anywhere in the world. And now I just gave these people $10,000 this month. 10,000. That's a lot of work. It's stressful to get to $10,000. It's so stressful. And after all that, I just give it just because I am here. That it still looks like my room in Nigeria. I've barely gone out because in order to make that much, I had to edit fucking 10 videos a day. So I could easily have edited these videos in Nigeria. Fuck itself. The clients even have to still send it to Google Drive, and I'm downloading it. I'm in their house and they give me the drive. So it's like, why exactly am I not at home saving this money? Because why? I'm also trying to build my finance. So that money could have added to the journey to getting to 50, to getting to 100, to getting to, you understand? That money could have paid for travel. That money could, there's so much it could have done. Then you now add the cost of living per month. Which, like I said, not a surprise. But like for that level of income, it's too much expense, it's too much of the money going. For money that is not coming easy, that is very difficult to make, a lot of work. If you say you're doing one this thing that, oh, you just consult after 30 minutes, $50,000. It's like, oh, and you have like 6 clients. It's like, oh, well, it's just, so how much is the house? $3,000. So in my head, that's like 2 minutes of consulting. Because that's how you have to think of money, the work that it is. Yeah. You know, and doing all the work that I've done now in order to try to, in recent time, in order to accelerate the journey to $10,000 in savings, has just overprogrammed my mind like that. When I think of the money as it should be, I think of the work. So I'm not really thinking about money. So if you say, give me, you know, $1,000, I'm seeing what I'm giving you, the work. So it's not $10,000 I'm giving you that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So you give me $10,000, I'm like, that's 2 vlog operations for some consulting that I've done with some channel that I'm giving you. And I'm thinking of how much work it took to do all of those back and forth. That's what I'm giving you. So then I now calculate. When I'm then giving it to something like, say, tax, it then feels like, as in, I don't have to. Not that I don't have to, but that's how it feels like as for everybody. It's like, that's, you know, if I'm giving it to a homeless person, I get that I'm giving to, you know, then, and then I wouldn't, because I cannot afford to. It's like if you can't, they say that if you can't buy it 5 times, don't pay for it. Well, tax does not give a shit because your tax is literally half of it. So you cannot pay your tax 5 times with your money. You literally cannot. It's not as if it remains small. You cannot. Once you double the tax, your money is finished. So literally, that's why tax feels like the way it feels. Because if you're in the right mentality, if you can't pay it 5 times, you can't afford it. So almost nobody can afford their tax because they are taking percentage that, you know, when you double, it's like all of the person's money. So when you, yeah. So really, like I said, this is not all I've written. All I've written was making decision of, oh, and this, blah, blah, all of it is useless now with this information, which is crazy because it just sets everything we have ongoing, which I orchestrated. You understand what I'm saying? I orchestrated by myself to the best, but it's not as I'll go back and I'll change it if I could. No, I made the best decision according to the information presented to me at the time. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And now I have a different information presented to me. Now, so, yeah, it's just, I've not even processed this very well. And then I say I have all those things to write, and I just see that and I just stop. I'm like, nah. Because there's no, 2 things is inevitable. It's a popular proverb, debt and taxes. So it's not something you're like, maybe if, there's no ifs, maybes, or anything in tax. Tax, as in, taxes come for you, they come for you. It's like, it's literally, of all these constants, I think that's how they put it. 2 things here I think the saying is, 2 things are inevitable in life, debt and taxes. Then the way there's the popular one that makes tax to seem scarier than debt. So I don't know the...
Oh, you're actually saying debt as per 9.
Yes, not debt, yeah, debt. 2 things are inevitable. It's inevitable. Debt is inevitable now. Just don't worry. Death. That's to tell you, as in I'm trying to tell you the popular distance about tax and how they're associating it to debt. But there's a particular quote that uses some expression to make it seem like it's like, oh, something like 2 things are inevitable in life, death and taxes. But with death, something. And it's like, oh, but tax is true, you done that. Wait, did you just make me think death is better than taxes? So I'm saying that because it's not something I'm like, I'll go and think about it. Ordinarily, I don't make decisions like this on the spot or this thing. I'll just see it. Then later you start hearing me read out one thing after. There's nothing, as in, I know, because it just hits me that, oh fuck, I've never thought about taxes all this while, like ever. I've never, even though we know about taxes and we talk about how they can be whatever, we've never like put it into the plan, like, oh, remember taxes, so that's why I was like, no, half like that. And also the money there was like, I was literally doing the maths, aspiring for that and calculating in my head, how can we position to get that annual income? And in my head I saw it, but I'm like, it's a lot of work, but I'm like, it's worth it at the end of the day. It's worth it, we can. And then I just saw that one and I click. I'm like, no, the calculation I did is based on that exact money. Like this stress it's with the assumption that with that exact money, I go do things. If you take half of it, this stress is the max I can in recent, because I'm planning it as something of now, like to start working towards it immediately, and who knows what happens before the end of the year or next year. And you're telling me that, as in, when I do that, as in, it's already so much stress to get that money in my head, $25,000 a month. I've pressed the calculator in my mind, I'm like, here, it's going to be a lot of work, so let's go, position very well, clients and blah, 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 blah. So much editing to do. So, okay, maybe just one more client for the editing and consulting combination, then the rest will be consulting. How it could be one top creator. Okay, there's a way around it, and then boom, after going around it, carry half of it and just give away. And why am I as in me way I know they do anything unnecessary. I know female sacrifice for anything unnecessary, but I feel do anything unnecessary, but not at the cost of something, and that's wisdom. You don't. It's not everything you do that has to be necessitated, as long as it's not unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad, damaging or anything. So, but it's when it comes at a cost, that's when it's a problem. Everything you do does not have to be necessary, except it comes at a cost. And if you are the average human being, almost everything you do that is unnecessary, so you come at a cost because you've not finished working on yourself. Every time is still valuable for you. But you can work on yourself to the point where you've checked off everything. Now you really can just do anything, and it's not a waste of time. But it's unlikely, because the foundation that most people come from, the average person comes from, is already fucked. If you have trauma to heal from, you have finances to build, you have relationships to fix, you have material internal and external needs that you are yet to resolve. Which is why I say I like to stay ahead of my needs. To resolve needs, resolve the ones to come, then it allows me to do what I want, which is not necessarily necessary. You understand? And so America is one of them for me. It's not necessary that I should be in America. I like, but also, why can I not be in America? But if it will come at the cost that is not what it's like, just that, as I'm not sitting here, why? Just because I want to be in America. Oh wow, like, okay, no, that's not, that's not smart. That does not make sense. That would put me in a struggle when I'm already fortunate. A fortunate few that can work as a digital nomad and come from a country that is a lower cost of living than the most, but as a citizen I enjoy certain privileges, even in all its madness, that some people might not be able to enjoy if they had to move to that country. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can walk quickly in the night, dressed like this, and jog down. If I was a white guy, no, because it's Nigeria and I have to be careful. Who knows who will pull up from somewhere to come and take my phone or ask for money. But like this, I can go through the most dangerous place in Nigeria like this. I just disguise myself a bit to look blended in, and I go, and I understand, we're waiting to happen, or I'm waiting to up. I have the privilege of being able to combine a large income with a normal personal everyday behavior and spend less. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That many people who have to, digital nomads who have to come here cannot. They have to seclude themselves compulsorily. I would love to seclude myself, but not compulsorily. You understand? So I'll be stripping myself of my leverage and advantage of a good quality life by going to a place where the life is quality but expensive and I cannot afford. So basically, until I can afford to go to America, I'm going to go to America. Now, this sounds stupid because, like, oh, sure, before, but I did not realize how much I cannot afford it at, let me put it that way, even though I had a sustainable income. But because of my aspiration, it's not smart that I'm cutting it that much. So I can afford it, but I would not like to. So, do you get what I mean? Yeah. I can afford it. But that's not what I don't consider it a good use of my money until a certain time. And so until that time. But before, why did I spend a year, 2 years working so hard towards trying to make it work? Because at the time, it was good use of my money because of what I wanted to go there and do. Now, basically, I'm not going there to go and do anything. But I was going to go there to do something, so it was worth the sacrifice. Now, I'm not going there to really do anything, so it's not really worth the sacrifice. I'm not going there to do anything I cannot do here. Before, I was going there to do something that I cannot do anywhere else but there. So I was like, fuck it, I'll make that sacrifice. Now, I'm realizing that thing that I want to do, I can do it from here. I cannot even do it from anywhere, basically. So, if I'm pausing the thing, basically, I might as well ask, why am I not going? All these reevaluations are important. That's what I was doing today, that then led to me seeing this one. Because I was already reevaluating everything. You must constantly analyze priority. That's one of the best advice you can get. It depends on your state. Best advice always be relative towards this thing, but to make the right decisions, constantly analyze, because people learn to make the right decision when it calls for it. There are times it will not call for it. You have to analyze. So, which means if you're walking, always stop and be like, is this even still the road to this place that I'm going? Look at the map again. It's different from when you reach a turning, then where should I go? Those ones, that's one almost everybody here when they are talking about making the right decision. Making the right decision is also analyzing that decision that you previously thought was right. Is it still right? It's not doubting it, it's reanalyzing. You have to constantly be reanalyzed. And now it's like, oh, so that would that not just be a person overthinking and always worried? No, there are time prompts to let you know when you should reanalyze. Every time you have to every time there's a significant change. So every time there's a significant change, you reanalyze. So it's not like just reanalyzing this thing. Every time if you sit down, stand up. If somebody passed, if there's some significant change to your status, you then reanalyze where you are going, and then keep moving.